You've spent the last 31 days, yes, 31 days, learning how astrology reveals your money mindset, your timing, and your business flow. Now, it's time to bring it all together. Today, I'm showing you how to turn your chart into a profitable purpose, your own Astropreneur Formula. Because abundance isn't just about earning, it's about embodying your cosmic design. So if you want to know more, stick around. You definitely don't want to miss this. Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you're new around here, hi, hello, and welcome. My name is Mel. I'm a professional astrologer and sound therapist, and I'm the founder of Divine Feminine Works, where I help people unlock their divinity and discover their magic. So if you are new, welcome. And as always, if you are returning, welcome back. So today is the final video in our 31-day Money and Astrology series. And today we're kind of putting it all together in what I like to call the Astropreneur Formula. Okay, so much like anything else, your natal chart can tell you everything about yourself. It can also tell you about your situation, your finances, how you spend, how you save, what type of entrepreneur you are, all of it. And today, in this final video, we are putting it all together. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. So to begin, I want you to think about and meditate on this core idea, okay? Your chart is a complete wealth ecosystem. When you understand how its pieces interact, you can create sustainable, purpose-driven success. And I think that is kind of just an amalgamation of everything I've been saying through this series. When you know yourself, when you know your situations better, you can do better for yourself. All right. And so this is no exception. So let's get into this really juicy topic, which is the 4 pillars of the Astropreneur Formula. I like to call these the 4 Ds. The first of the 4 Ds is desire. And this equates to your second house plus Venus. And so for this pillar, it's all about what you truly want to create and the value you offer. Okay. Desire is definitely the beginning of everything. You gotta want to do the thing, right? Again, if you're someone who's looking at entrepreneurship through the lens of survival, then you'll probably overlook this first step completely because it's to you, desire has no place in that, right? It's all about survival and hustling. But to start off with desire is to start off with harmony, with peace, okay? And honestly, that's how you want to begin. You want to begin on a good foot. And your second house in Venus can help you do that. So next, the second of the 4 Ds is that word that we don't always like, discipline, okay? And this is evidenced by your 6th house and Saturn. This is your systems, your structure, and consistency. This is how you sustain growth, okay? Now, this is typically where a lot of people start because remember, most people aren't starting with desire. Maybe there's something that they want to do, but they just jump in with what kind of system, what kind of funnels, what kind of marketing. That is discipline. That falls under that, right? And you need that. You need structure. Without structure, you're just sort of flailing in the wind and not creating anything that's necessarily sustainable. Okay. So your 6th house plus Saturn can tell you all about discipline and how to even structure your business. Okay. Now, the third D and the third pillar of this formula is direction. And this is evidenced by your 10th house and your midheaven, okay? This is your public path, your reputation, and your long-term vision, okay? This is your brand signature, like we really just talked about in my previous video on 10th house magic, right? It's how you show up, it's how people associate you, and it's the vibe of your business. Okay. And then finally, we get to the 4th D, which is destiny. And this is Jupiter and the North Node, okay? This is the expansion path that keeps you aligned with purpose and prosperity, okay? So hopefully that didn't go over your head. Destiny, as evidenced by Jupiter and the North Node, it's where you are headed. Remember, this is a journey. This isn't just a one and done kind of a thing. It's not just, okay, I'm gonna do this for a little bit, unless that is, how you view it. And again, it's all up to you. But Jupiter and the North Node get you to see the bigger picture. It speaks to your purpose. It also speaks to your why, which is super important because it is that why that will maintain that momentum when you're down in the details, when you're down in the discipline, right? So the 4Ds: desire, discipline, direction, and destiny. And when these 4Ds work together, money becomes a byproduct of alignment, not anxiety. And this is a very important point because often we are taught that money is the end goal. So that's what we chase, that's what we focus on. Money isn't the end goal. Money is a byproduct of you being in alignment. So instead of being anxious about, I got to get money, especially if you're approaching this from a place of, I got to pay my bills, I got to do this, I got to do that, which of course we all do. So I'm not saying that as though, you're not. But when you are approaching it from a place of anxiety, this is when you're chasing. This is when you're likely to cosplay as something, where you're likely to forget what alignment looks and feels like for you and follow the latest trend or the latest hack that everyone else is doing because that's what they're bombarding you with. And then money becomes elusive, it becomes evasive, it becomes something that you chase that you feel like you can never get a firm grasp on. But when you are in alignment, particularly with these 4Ds, money just starts to come to you. It's a byproduct. So when you're not even, let me put it, perfect example. You have a crush, right? And you want this crush so bad, and you're being low key thirsty, and you're always trying to be where they are, inject yourself in their conversations. That's very repelling, right? If anyone has ever had a crush on you and they acted like that, you probably were like, ew. That's real cringe. Like, I don't even want to mess with you because it's annoying or it's just very repelling. That's how money feels when you're doing all of this extra shit. Money is like, I don't want to stay here. Not only is she mad, frenetic, but she's like, real, this isn't authentic. Like, I won't feel safe here. Okay. When you are in alignment and you're not even hanging on money's coattails, money is like, oh, I want to stay here. This is nice. I like this. She's not stressing me. She's not being cringy. This is a safe environment for me. Okay. And so when you align with those 4Ds, that's the environment that you're creating for money to thrive, not just chasing it and pulling on its coattails and trying to force it to be with you. Right. Like that's not how we want to approach anything in life. In life, we want to align and we want to flow. Okay. All right, so let's get into a little example. All right. So we've got a Virgo rising with a Taurus Venus. Okay, so this would be desire through quality, craftsmanship, and tangible service. Okay. Virgo as a rising sign, when it comes to the sixth house of discipline, that would be Aquarius. And so you've got discipline through innovation and community systems. So now let's say you've got a Capricorn midheaven. This is direction through credibility and results. And then finally, let's say you've got Jupiter in Cancer. This is destiny through nurturing and emotional connection. Okay. That's a chart designed for heart centered structure and dependable growth. All right. So I know that was probably a lot and it may have gone over your head, but rewatch the section, particularly about the 4Ds, and then look at your natal chart and delineate it step by step. All right. And if you want to know more, if you have questions, as always, join us over in Cosmic Collective so you can ask as many questions as you want during our weekly live streams. All right. All right, so now let's get into some quick integration tips and why this all even matters. So first, your entrepreneur astro, rewind, your Astropreneur Formula keeps you from chasing every trend. It helps you focus on what you're built to sustain, not what social media says should work. I feel like a broken record at this point because that's everything that I've been reiterating over the course of this series. When you know what works for you can work it and experience success, point blank, period. When your business mirrors your cosmic wiring, profit becomes purposeful and work feels like worship. That's kind of a loaded statement right there, but things just start to make sense. And you're not just doing things for the sake of doing them or doing things that even feel like chores. Now, don't get me wrong. Along the entrepreneurial journey, you will have to do things you don't like or that feel like chores. But when you're in alignment, those times become much more bearable. It can be really challenging to feel the weight of needing money, the anxiety of needing money, and then having to do things that you don't want to do, that you feel like you're not equipped to do. There's imposter syndrome, there's everything, all these distractions going on. Entrepreneurship is a real journey. The easier that you can make it for yourself, the better. And you do that by figuring out what works for you, point blank, period. Inside of my signature natal chart experience, the blueprint, we identify your unique astropreneur formula, the specific placements that drive your purpose, profit, and flow. So you will not leave not understanding who the fuck you are when it comes to entrepreneurship. All right. And so if you want to experience the blueprint, the first step would be to book a free 15-minute clarity call where we will discuss whether the blueprint is right for you and if so, how to get started. So if you're interested, the link to that is in the description box below. And inside Cosmic Collective, you'll find a recap post tying all 31 videos together, plus journal prompts to help you integrate your biggest takeaways. So there is so much extra resources. There's so much extra information over in Cosmic Collective. And so if you're interested, it's $11 a month. You get a free 2-week trial, but most importantly, you get exclusive content, just more access, particularly access to me via weekly lives. But most importantly, you get a community of astrology enthusiasts who are eager to learn and eager to teach through example as well. All right. So if you're interested in that, the link to that is in the description box below too. All right, my loves. So that's pretty much all I've got for you for this video on the Astropreneur Formula. All right, so to recap, you now understand how to earn, invest, and build in cosmic alignment. Your chart is your ultimate business and money guide. I have given you 31 videos on everything that you need to know on money and astrology. And keep in mind, you can peruse this playlist as you would like. You don't have to do it in order, whatever strikes your fancy. You could start with that first. If there's something that you're curious about or want to know more of, feel free to skip around. Just understand that this is a library set for you right now. It is 31 videos on money and astrology that you can visit at any time in the future to understand yourself, understand your finances, and change your financial story. All right. So don't forget to take the Abundance Archetype quiz one more time. All right. So you'll see how much clarity you've gained since day one. All right. Join us over in Cosmic Collective for our Astropreneur integration session this week and for bonus materials. All right. And this is the final call for the giveaway. All right. Entries are going to close this weekend. This is the weekend of October 31st and November 1st, all right? And so winners will be announced live during my weekly live stream next week. So if you've been watching silently, this is your moment to jump in. And to recap, for this giveaway, I will be gifting up to 3 blueprint experiences. So if it is something that you want to get involved in and get it for free, this is your last call for alcohol to join or to enter this giveaway. All right. And the link to that is in the description box below. All right. And so, like I said, I can't believe that this is the end of this particular 31-day series. To me, I've been calling it like a 31-day sprint because it really has been like a sprint for me in terms of filming and scripting and getting all these things together. But this has been super fun for me. And I'm so happy to be bringing all of this exceptional information to you. And I sincerely hope that you found some real value in it. And so essentially, that's a wrap on this 31-day money and astrology series. So give yourself a round of applause because you've showed up, you've learned your chart, and you've shifted your money story, all right? And I am super proud of you because to really engage with this content and to really learn, as so many of you have commented that you're taking notes and you're learning and you're engaging. So I'm so proud of you for doing so, all right? But don't get too comfortable because we're about to do it all over again. But this time we are doing a 30-day relationship and astrology series. Okay, so beginning on November 1st, I am going to be teaching you all about attraction, compatibility, and cosmic chemistry. We're going to explore Venus, Mars, and Mercury in love. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. So we're about to start another sprint, a 30-day sprint on relationships and astrology. And I know y'all don't want to miss that because that is the topic that people most want to know about. All right. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and get ready for a whole new vibe. Thank you so much for journeying with me through this sprint. And remember, your chart is your power. Your purpose is profitable, and abundance is already written in your stars. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so excited to start this new relationship journey with you. So again, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment, like, share, all that good stuff. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.